Have you ever driven a go-kart before and you were just chasing the person in front of you and you were trying to catch up to them and pass them? Well, imagine doing that at 200 miles an hour. But that's what Formula One does. It's a it's a huge global sport, and it's one of the biggest racing sports in the whole world. Millions of people watch it. And today I'm going to talk about the history, teams, and cars about Formula One slash F1. So if you hear me say F1, I mean Formula One. So first, I'm going to talk about the history of Formula One. So how did Formula One get its name? According to Jonathan Noble, F1 editor of Motorsports.com, in racing terms, Formula implies the rules for a pure racing car, a single-seater with open wheels, and the one implies that it's the number one series in F1. So there's like F1, F2, so it's kind of like baseball and all that, where F1 is like the top professionals and it just keeps on going down. So the first official F1 race took place in Turin, Italy in 1946, and the first official series, so like multiple races, took place in 1950. And so history can be traced back to the early 19th century, and there were no racetracks back then, so we had to run on public roads. So, and then the same format is used today by Dylan Judge, describes in his paper about the competitive balance in F1 racing. Most F1 races are done worldwide and closed on public roads or street circuits, with an extension of a few that are run on like pre-built tracks. And today there are 39 circuits and 49 layouts across 31 countries. So typically it's about 2 hours and 190 miles that they go every race and all that. And Verna was the first ever F1 winner in that 1946 race. And there used to be 21 racers, but now there's 20 racers in a race. So, and the most successful driver today, and he is still driving today, is actually right here, Lewis Hamilton. This is when he was with Mercedes, but this year he is actually with Ferrari. And this is also a calendar of like the 2025 season. So see, they've already been to Australia, China. I think they're going to Japan, so like this week. And then this is Ferna, that's winning the first race. So second, I want to talk about the teams. So as described by Jonathan Noble, again, F1 editor of Motorsport.com, Formula One isn't just about competition between the drivers, and it's more about like the team. Like the team is more the competitive side and all that. So the sport became popular when teams like Ferrari, Mercedes, and Red Bull like started building cars and got into it. And each manufacturer team uses their own parts and equipment, like different engines and all that, to be with the formula of the F1 competition. Competition is expensive. It costs like $70 million just to even enter a driver into the race. But sure, the driver is a main key, probably the main key to the team and all that. But you also have like the team owner, the car chief, and the pit crew. Pit crew is really important. But the engineers that design and build the cars, as Hanataka wrote in Honda R&D technical review, to take victory in a fierce competition, each team purposely technology developments to the very limits of regulation. So they try to put as much technology and competition to be able to do all of that, like the technical stuff. And there's 10 teams and there's 20 drivers, which means there's 2 drivers per team. So this is Ferrari and the owner of Ferrari. This is Mercedes and the owner of Mercedes. And this is Red Bull and the owner. So lastly, I'm going to talk about the F1 cars. The first ever car that was for F1 was the Mercedes-Benz W196. And it was a 2.5 liter straight 8 engine. And the top speed was 186, which, again, now we begin up to 250, 240s, like minimum. And so back then, the car designers were referred as cowboys playing with fire, according to Brian O'Rourke. chief engineer at the Williams BMW team. Today, F1 cars are well-designed machines and created for high-educated engineers. And so the main things about the new F1 cars is that the technology, they have 25 buttons on the steering wheel like right here. That's also a Mercedes. But another thing is the aerodynamics, so you can get the perfect balance of downforce to keep your car on the track. So, and then this is the evolution of the F1 cars. So, in conclusion, I've shared with you some information about the history, teams, and cars about F1. As you can see, there are a lot more to this sport than you think about. This is a very popular sport and a huge global fan base. There has been many improvements since the first race in 1946, and many corporate sponsors to be able to, get the money to be able to just have this wonderful sport. And basically, the teams head to Japan to be able to compete in the Grand Prix. And if you were wondering how it was driving, if you want to see what it's like to be in an open wheel go kart at 200 miles an hour, you should go watch it.